You see it everywhere, right? On the subway, in coffee shops, just walking down the street. It kind of feels like the modern uniform. Hoodie pulled up, beanie pulled down, maybe a baseball cap on indoors. And it's easy to just dismiss it as, a style choice. But what if it's something more? What if it's actually a piece of personal tech?
So that's the big question we're going to dig into. Why has covering your head become so important for so many people right now? Well, the theory we're exploring today suggests the answer is way more complex and honestly, more fascinating than just fashion.
And here it is, the core idea. The hat or the hoodie isn't just an accessory. It's a tool. It's a deliberate strategy for managing the absolute sensory overload of the modern world. We're talking both on a physical level and, as this theory goes, on an energetic one too. It's really less about how you look and more about a personal technology for just getting through the day. To really get this, we're going to break down this whole cranial shield idea into 3 distinct layers. We'll start with the psychological, which makes a lot of sense, and then we're going to move into some much more surprising territory. Okay, first up, the layer we can all pretty much intuitively understand, the psychological shield. I love this description of it. Think of it like creating a small, safe, portable private room for yourself no matter where you are. So there's actually a psychological principle at play here. It's called enclothed cognition, and it's this idea that the clothes we wear can literally change how we think and feel. Like how a lab coat can make you feel more careful and precise? Well, a hoodie can act like a modern security blanket, making you feel safer, more contained, and just less exposed. And what are we trying to feel safe from? Well, a lot of the time, it's that constant feeling of being watched, what some people call the surveillance gaze. And that could be anything from the CCTV cameras on every street corner to just the perceived judgment of other people, both online and off. A hat or a hoodie gives you a little physical barrier. It's a way to reclaim a tiny piece of privacy, to just retreat from the world's glare for a minute. Okay, so this brings us to our second layer, and this is where headwear starts to function almost like a wearable device, but for your nervous system. This is what some call the hoodie effect. When you pull up that hood, it does 4 really specific things for you. First, it creates a kind of tunnel vision, which actually cuts down on the amounts of visual chaos your brain has to process. Then it muffles all those sharp, distracting sounds. The gentle weight of it on your head and shoulders, that can trigger a deep pressure therapy response, which is incredibly calming. It's kind of like a portable hug. And finally, the brim shields your eyes from that harsh fluorescent lighting that gives so many of us headaches. It's a full-on sensory regulation toolkit you can wear. Now here's where it gets really interesting. The theory of hair itself. Some traditions, and even some researchers, see our hair as an antenna, right? An extension of our nervous system that picks up on really subtle cues in the environment. Now, in a quiet, natural world, that's a superpower. But in our world, which is just filled with Wi-Fi signals, other people's stress, constant noise, that antenna can get totally overwhelmed. So the idea here is that covering your hair isn't about disconnecting. It's about filtering out all the garbage data so you can actually hear yourself think. And now we're going to go deeper into the most, let's say, esoteric layer of the shield. This is the idea that headwear is a tool for managing your own personal energy, almost like creating a metaphysical force field. So in traditions like Kundalini Yoga, the very top of your head is where the crown chakra is, a major energy center. And the belief is that covering it provides this gentle, constant pressure. They call it a cranial adjustment. The thinking is that this slight pressure helps you contain your focus and stops your mental and spiritual energy from just scattering out into the world. It basically creates a container for your own energy. And within this whole framework, even the color you choose is a strategic decision. White, for example, is believed to actually expand your energy field and reflect negativity away from you. But black, which is way more common, especially for young people, is thought to do the opposite. It absorbs light and energy, and in doing so, it acts like an invisibility cloak. It helps you dampen your own signal so you can move through this world of constant observation a little more undetected. So you might be thinking, is this all just abstract theory? Well, no. Let's look at a few examples of how this wearable armor is actually showing up across different modern subcultures right now. You see this in online pagan and witch talk communities, where veiling is used for what they call empathic management. So after doing really intense energetic or emotional work, a veil is used to kind of close off those energy centers. It helps create a really clear boundary between their own feelings and the feelings of everyone else around them. We're also seeing a revival of veiling in some modern Christian circles, but the practice is being totally reinterpreted. It's not about submission, It's about creating tunnel vision to focus only on God during prayer. It's a way to block out worldly distractions and create a sacred space for that divine connection.
And what about that person who just never takes their hat off even inside? Well, according to this framework, that's a signal. It's a refusal to be vulnerable. That hat is a permanent part of the shield, a constant commitment to maintaining their own energetic space and integrity no matter what the social rules are. Of course, brands are catching on. Streetwear is now being marketed as literal talismanic armor. You can buy hoodies printed with angel numbers like 444 or the evil eye symbol, and they're explicitly sold as wearable wards to protect you from bad vibes, jealousy, and all the negativity of the digital world. And finally, for people who identify as highly sensitive, you might hear terms like starseed or indigo in some spiritual communities to describe this. A hat is seen as a vital grounding tool. It's believed to help prevent that feeling of floating away or being totally overwhelmed by everything, anchoring their energy right here in the now.
So when you pull it all together, the crucial point is this. What looks like a simple fashion choice is actually this incredibly sophisticated, multi-layered piece of technology. A single hoodie or a hat can be a psychological shield for privacy, a neurological tool for managing your senses, and a metaphysical container for your personal energy, all at the exact same time.
It really reframes such a simple, everyday action, doesn't it? It's not just about style or staying warm anymore. It's about consciously managing your relationship with the world around you. So maybe the next time you reach for that cap or pull up that hood, it's worth asking yourself, what kind of protection do I need today? What shield am I choosing to wear?